We are getting ready to spring forward as daylight saving time starts this weekend. Now, even though we gain some hours of sunlight, changing the clocks can have serious effects on our health. Joining us now this morning is Dr. Joseph Mercola, a board-certified osteopathic physician and author of Your Guide to Cellular Health. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay, so first up, what does the effects of daylight saving time have on our bodies and our circadian cycles?
Well, it has a massive disruption because it's not ready for expecting it, so it will decrease some of your hormone levels, specifically melatonin, the sleep hormone, but it also disrupts the insulin and cortisol levels. So your ability to seamlessly metabolize sugar is impaired, and that can cause that actually increases your risk for certain things, such as risk for heart attack. We find that within the first few days after the shift, there's a 5 to 10% increase in heart attacks and strokes. And you've got to be really careful because when you may not have a problem, but many other people do. And as a result, there's a 10 to 20% increase in traffic accidents afterwards.
Wow. So does daylight saving time affect people differently depending on personal factors like their schedule, their lifestyle? I mean, working on the morning show, we don't have the most ideal schedule. A lot of people would think getting up this early, but does this affect people differently?
Oh, absolutely. It depends on your health. If the healthier you are, the more resilient you are, the better you'll be able to tolerate it, and especially if you've anticipated it and you've started going to bed earlier the few days beforehand, it makes a big difference.
I was going to say a lot of parents don't like these time changes coming up with kids because it shifts their kids' schedule. So I've learned, or I've been told by pediatricians to start like slowly a few days before getting them on that sleep schedule.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, and really big difference actually. So, and one of the other things that you can do to help prepare yourself and address this assault, which I think is it's a foolish tradition that we've had for over a century. I mean, it's just unnecessary. The benefits that were portrayed to help us as a society and culture really have never panned out. And I believe Trump announced in his inauguration that he was considering ending daylight savings time. Now, he didn't say if he's going to keep it, which I hope he doesn't. Hope he just gets rid of it, because we really need to be aligned with solar noon. And when we changed and shift that 1 hour later, then solar noon's at 1 o'clock, and our body was never really expecting them. There's a consequence for that. But one of the things you can do to help prepare yourself, because now it's a little bit too late to start to go to bed earlier, is that you can just two things. One is to make sure that before you go to bed, after the sun sets, you want to make sure that you have no exposure to blue light. So that means your devices, your TVs, your monitors, your cell phones. You can put them in, especially your cell phone, you put in modes where it doesn't emit the blue light, or put blue light blockers on. And the other thing is really helpful to address those hormonal imbalances is to make sure that you don't eat anything, any food at least, for at least 3 hours before you go to bed. It's a practice called intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating. It has profound impacts on helping to optimize and normalize your not only your circadian rhythm, but your metabolism.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dr. Mercola, for joining us today this morning on DC News Now.